Hey guys, Sharon Mujni, Director of Operations and Safety. I'm here to give you a brief tutorial on how to use registers that we now have for the stadium concession stands. A few steps to go through and we'll talk about them here. Alright, step one is to pick up the cash bags from the admin office before 4:30. So the business office closes at 4:30. So if you need your bag for an evening, please stop by before then. We will assign one cash bag per register, which is a change because back in the day, you guys would only get a cash bag for the entire event. So now that we have several registers, like in the visitor side, there are two registers, so you'll get two cash bags for the visitor side at the stadium. All right, when you pick up the cash bag, it'll look something like this one. It could be a different color, but it'll basically work the same way. In the cash bag, there'll be a form. It'll be a variation of this form. So by the time you see this video, something on this form may have changed. But the gist of it is the top part will be filled out by the admin team. They count the money right up here, how much should be in the bag. We want you guys to verify that what you see up here is actually in the bag. And then you'll sign their log verifying that you received $250 in the bag or bags. And then we want you guys to make sure that we have the correct organization down. So whether it's freshman class, sophomore class, drill team, cheerleading, whatever, because this is important. This form comes back to us at the end of the event, and we want to make sure that the correct activity fund gets credited for the event. All right. When you guys are closing out the registers at the end of the evening, this is the only part of the form that needs to be filled out by you guys, and we'll go through that here more thoroughly. It is best practice whenever handling cash. We want at least two people to be counting it, one to witness and one to actually count it. And we also request that two people, best practice, take the bag to the bank for safekeeping at night. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit as well. All right, so for training purposes, we don't have any cash in this bag, but we do have a key. If you check out more than one bag, there'll be one key in the bag. This is one register key, so that when you get to the concession stand, you can put the cash in the register. Also, with these type of cash bags, there is a 3-digit code. When you pick up the cash bag, the team will tell you what the 3-digit code is, and that's how you lock the bag. So then the other zipper will go in here. You spin the code and make sure that when the money's in safekeeping, no one can get into the bag unless they have the code. All right, so to open the code, you just click the side lever here, and it flips what would be both zippers open. Okay, next step is when you get to the concession stand, we have dust covers on the registers just to kind of keep them nice. Remove the dust cover. We want to also keep bugs out of the, electronics. You can reuse that if you want at the end of the night, or we have other ones in the corner for y'all to use. So this device right here is the customer-facing credit card device. It also will log the transactions, and they'll see it as you're tapping it on the computer. So to turn the registers on, there is a button right here in the center underneath the monitor. Click and hold until it lights up. Notice the registers are numbered. This says drawer 4 right here. So on your cash sheet, you want to put the money from concession bag 1 into register 4, drawer 4. The registers are connected to our internet via hardwire, and so when they first pop up. They're connecting, and you'll get some error messages until everything's happy. All right, there it goes. So the first question it asks is, what is your starting cash? And go ahead and ensure that you're putting in to match what you picked up there, because this will be important when you close the register out. At the end of the day, you want it to match. So we're going to say it's starting with $250 because that's what I picked up from admin just for this register. We're not doing both registers, so just one bag at a time. Okay, when you take your cash out of the cash bag and you go to load your register, there is one key between the cash bags that you receive for your side of the stadium. Take the key, open the cash drawer, and it'll pop out and go ahead and load your cash. And that's when you enter in the screen how much starting cash you have. So once you're done, take the key out, put it back in the cash bag for the night. And you should see something like this. This is the dashboard with the favorites on it. It has all the items in the correct price for the concession stand. Now, if something changed the week of and more items were added that we may not have known about, those can be added. But for right now, we're just going to go through how this works. So it's pretty simple. It works very similar to an iPhone. If somebody orders a red Gatorade, click it. It'll show up on the side here. It also shows up on the customer display here. So it's upside down because they would be looking at it from the customer point of view. If you want 2 red Gatorades, just click it again, and it'll add ×2 there. If you click on something like nachos, we have it set up to where it automatically comes with cheese, but they can add jalapenos and chili. The cost remains the same, which is how these concession stands are set up. And then if they want more than one, you can just add quantity and add it there, and it shows up here. And so that keeps log of what the current sale is. You can ask the customer if they want to donate $1 to your activity fund or freshman class, or however, that's up to you guys. We just added that in there because some people do like to donate money to your activity. The other part that's important is if the customer is paying by credit card, we ask that you press the service charge of 3%, because your account will get charged the service charge of using a credit card if you don't pass that fee along. So if you forget, it's okay, but we just ask that you guys try to remember to pass along the service charge if and only if they're paying by credit card. You don't have to do that if they're paying by cash because there's no service charge for that. All right, so let's say we want to close out this transaction. The customer wants to pay, and this is what it looks like on their screen. So it shows them what they're ordering, and it's a little dusty. We want to hit charge, and it'll say the option is charge even if they're paying by cash. So after you hit charge $19.57, then that's when it asks you how are they paying. And so it gives you, we're going to say they're paying by credit card because we already charged a 3% fee. And if they are going to pay by credit card, you don't have to push anything else here. All they have to do is insert their card up here, swipe it, or tap right there. So people who are used to using this in a normal business understand how this works and do it. So they can use their phone, swipe their card, or insert their card into the top portion here. Okay, so I'm going to close this out. I'm not going to complete any transaction. I'm going to close this out. If you need to clear the sale, just hit clear here. If you, I'm going to do another fake sale. We're going to say they're going to buy those items there. I'm going to hit charge because they're paying by cash. There is no 3% fee. So you can put, they're going to give you a $10 bill. It'll tell you what the change is and the drawer will pop out. So it's saying that the sale was $6. They gave you a $10 bill. You owe them $4 and change. And this receipt will automatically print back here. The receipt we don't need, but that may be important if you guys are busy to tell you if someone's waiting on an order, like if multiple nachos are being made or whatever, you can use these receipts to help you keep track of that. So anyways, drawer pops out, give them the change, close the drawer back up, and hit new sale, and then you start afresh. Okay, real quick, we asked that the only thing we want you guys to use to clean the registers with are these electronic wipes here. There's some scattered along the concession area, and then this is actually the bag, the dust cover bag when it's not opened. So once you open it, it looks like this, but there's several you'll find in bags like this in the concession stand as well. Okay, at the end of the event, when you want to close down your concession stand, here's the steps how to do that. So go to your screen, hit more, reports, and right now it's telling you current drawer is open. It also tells you what your current sales are for today on all devices. Usually it's going to be includes both of these devices that are in the home side or visitor side that we're in for this video. Okay, so it's saying your current drawer is open. I'm going to press on it because I want to close the drawer out because we're closing our concession stand down. First thing it asks is drawer description. You can put a description in there if you want. You don't have to, it's optional, but that is an option there. I'm not going to do it. Sometimes we put like visitor or football game versus Smithville visitor side or something like that, but that's optional for you to do. Okay, so what this is telling me, it gives you the data saying your starting cash was $250. We just had that transaction for $6, so you should have $256 in your drawer. All right, so, but in order to move further, you have to end your drawer. It's telling you again how much you should have. Drawer opens on its own. Take the cash out, close your drawer, and you can go over to the counting machine to count it. Leave the screen up. Don't do anything with the screen. You can close the drawer. It won't go away. Because after you finish counting the cash that came out of this drawer, you want to enter the amount here. Cash counting machine. There's one on each side of the stadium concession stand. Really only two buttons you need to know. Batch will change the denomination, and it's hard to see when the screen lights up, but it goes from 100 to 50 to 20, 150, 20, and 1. So you can toggle between the type of bills and put your cash in the back side. It'll count it, spit it out, and tell you how much is here. And then you can write that on your sheet. So, and then when you need to change the denominations, hit reset and then go through your denominations to make sure you're selecting the correct one. If you go to the back of the cash sheet that you picked up when you got the cash bag, there's just a little cheat sheet to help you keep count as you're counting the money. Log it here, and then you're going to put the grand total of what you have in your drawer there. So once you know your grand total, we're going to come back to the register you took the money out of and put the amount. There should be $256 in this register. I'm actually going to say there's $255 just to show you what it does. So you hit the blue button then, and it tells you the difference is $1. You're off by negative $1. And then in drawer. Confirm in drawer. When you do that, this ticket prints out back here. It tells you exactly how much cash you started with, what should be in the drawer, what is actually in the drawer. Include this in the cash bag when you before you close it up. So go ahead and just put it in here. Put all your cash in here with the key and lock it up. Change the code so no one can get in there. Put this, I failed to mention, fill this out. So I would put, there was $255 in cash at this register. I would sign it. A witness would sign it, and then fold this up, put it in there. Like I said, right now, we don't have a way to calculate credit card sales just for this machine. We'll get the numbers the next morning, and it'll tell you for both machines. Okay, you also may be interested in, if you go to more, it comes up to the screen, hit reports again. Stay on the sales marker there, verify you're on the right date. And you can actually toggle through and see what your total sales were. But you probably will be more interested in hitting the print button here. You can email it or print it. Print, we're going to include the items. And this gives you a more itemized, detailed list of what actually was sold through the night. So the more items that are sold, the longer this ticket will be, but it categorizes what's sold. This is important to restock for the next event. Somebody doesn't have to come here and count every item. They can actually just go off this. This same information gets emailed to us the next morning when the deposit's made into the bank. So Square will deposit the credit card sales into the district's bank account, but the cash will get deposited the next morning into the bank account by the district. So what's important is at the end of the event, everything's closed out. You'll have multiple cash bags usually. So put everything in the bag. I'm doing this one-handed here. Lock it up. With both locks. Let me put this down. Spin the code so no one can open it. All right, it's not opening. Okay, so it's locked up. The person responsible for the activity fund, I would say like your highest ranking person in the concession stand, we want them to take this bag to our bank that we use to where all of our district's money goes, which is National Bank and Trust. So it's the bank on the corner of Highway 71, 77 in town. National Bank and Trust, if you drive behind the bank to where the drive-through lanes are, there is a night deposit box in the brick side of the building. This is where we put these bags for safekeeping. The bank does not open these bags. What will happen is the next morning, the finance department will come to the bank, grab the bags, and bring them to the admin office to count, and then create the deposit slips, and then that's how the money actually gets put into your activity fund. So again, it's very important. At the end of the night, someone drives the bags to National Bank and Trust, put them in the night deposit box, and they get picked up the next morning by the finance department. Ideally, best practice, do that with two people. So one person following the person who actually has the bag. Just, it's extra security and safety. We ask that you guys do that because most of us don't want to just have cash laying around in our vehicle, or we don't want to be responsible for it if we don't have to be. So this is the safest way to handle the situation, is to put the bags in the night deposit box before you go home. Once we closed out the drawer, we also just wanted to print the summary that we just did. Now, to verify or to maybe explain, this summary tells you it's for September 9th. It's actually for all devices here in this concession stand. So if we had that register running as well, it would be a log of everything. It does show you how many credit card sales there were, but because we did not have any in this demo, it's not showing up here. So, okay, so when you're done, you can hit done. And then if you click the bottom button again, click and hold, it asks you to restart or power off. You can power off. because it's the end of the night. You want to go home, and it'll shut everything off. Put the dust cover back on, please, and on both of them, and just make sure everything's locked up when you go home. All right, I hope this is helpful. Thank you, and please contact me if you have any questions. Okay, here's some bonus content on how to add an item. So if you decide to sell something new for this event and it's not already in our list, you can add an item. So let's go right here, create an item. You probably won't have a photo of it, but you can call it something. So let's call it a cookie. Enter. You don't need to put a description. You can put a category, like if it's a snack. These are just different categories we have. We're going to call it food. That's optional though. And then what's important is per item, it's going to cost $2, we'll say. And I believe that's all you need to fill out here. Hit save there. To add it to your favorite list, press and hold the square you want to add it. Plus comes up. Find it in your list here. We added this cookie, and so it shows up there. Hit done, and it's now right there. So that's how you add an item.